Tony Thiel from Dryden, Ontario. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for the
Uh,
invitation.
no problem. Now, we've been brought together here today. Our dear friend Marnie Oliphant has brought us together doing a bit of a Where Are They Now segment. And so you from Dryden, myself from Dryden. I'm currently playing, but it's my understanding in our quick preview chat that it's been quite some time since you played. Let's jump right into it and ask you how you're doing and where are you right now?
Well, I'm doing great. I've been retired now for the last 2.5 months. My wife's still working, but so I'm doing a little bit of golf and a lot of housework.
Hmm.
Got a house that always needs repairs and this and that. Yeah, I'm in a little town, a couple hundred or a couple thousand people. It's called Hünxe in northwestern Germany, close to the Dutch border.
UNGSA. So I've been to Germany. I've never been to UNGSA, but
Uh,
let's step it back a little bit. The last time you played was how long ago?
my last professional game was about 30 some years ago, about 31, 30 years ago. I played till I was 40, and then yeah, things got stressed with work, and uh, so you have to quit sometimes.
And so tell me some of your highlights from playing. Of course, you started in Dryden and would have probably had to move away. I know that that's what I had to do. Um, Tell me some highlights from your playing career as you remember them.
Actually, when I got the invitation to come over to Germany, I was living in a little town, Smithers, BC, which is close. Well, actually, it went up to Prince George, but Prince George had enough goalies, so they sent me to ask me if I want to go to Smithers. And then uh, the end of the 70s, a lot of teams in Germany were looking for German Canadians, and I have a German passport. So they asked me if I wanted to come over to Germany and play. Uh, Money, car, apartment. I said, yeah, why not? I'll try it for a couple of years. And it ended up being over 40 now. No, there's my first year was just great. It was unbelievable. I played so many different teams. The exhibition games against Czech nationals, the Russian national B team, and it's just you're playing in Austria, you're playing in Italy, and it was fantastic. I really enjoyed it. I even uh, the spring of '79, we played against an exhibition game against the Spanish national team. We drove to Spain and played them. The exhibition game was a highlight. The whole year was just a highlight. There's so many teams. There's so many games against you know different countries. You could never imagine that playing you know in Canada against because Europe is so close. You go to Czechoslovakia, you're in Italy. It's just no, it's just a stop. Like Dryden to Saskatoon, not even.
The people you meet, the places you get to see, and as you say, how in Europe everything's much closer. Countries neighbor each other so closely, where Canada's so vast and it's all very similar. And where hockey in Canada itself is a small world. Well, now you go to Europe where there's more leagues, more players, and like whoa, and they're just all
Oh,
bundled up. There's a team everywhere, and there's so much more to hockey than the
oh,
hockey we know here. So tell me about your highlights growing up in Dryden. You've been retired as long as I've been alive, so that's the context of the generational gap we've got here.
growing up in Dryden as a kid was great. I mean, hockey wise, come on, we started off. We had when you started playing. Christ, we had 6 teams. So we never practiced. We always played Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday morning. Tuesday, Thursday after school, and Saturday morning. So you had 3 games a week, in a little league, and you're playing with the same kids or against the same boys all the time, and you know, you grow up, you're midget, you're playing high school hockey. Like we just had the 50th anniversary of our high school hockey team that won the Duluth Invitational Hockey Tournament back 50 years ago. Unfortunately, I couldn't make it, but a lot of guys from Canada and the States, I guess, were in Dryden this past weekend, or 4th or 5th of July. I couldn't make it, unfortunately, but yeah, that was an experience playing high school hockey with a lot of good hockey players, and even midget. I mean, we played. When I was 17, our midget team, the Dryden Paper Kings, we went to Prince Edward Island to play Canadian championships before it went Air Canada, or I don't even know what it's called now, the midget championships. And yeah, unfortunately, I let in 2 bad goals in the last 90 seconds, and we ended up being fourth.
Mm,
Well, fourth best team in all of Canada isn't bad from a little town in Dryden.
absolutely.
Well, that was But a great bunch of guys, great bunch of guys that played, and we just peaked when we were 17, and that was a great,
Hmm.
that was a great experience.
Of course, there's your teammates that you're skating with, but there's always the coaches that are kind of making sure you're steered the right direction. Who do you have that comes to mind when you think of who coached you, who guided you, and maybe what was the best advice or tip they might have given you?
May have forgotten the names, but your high school coaches, uh, they were they really helped,
Hmm.
you know, and they were strict, but fair.
Hmm.
If you played well and you condoned all the rules. But and my junior team, I played for the Kenora Thistles, the Manitoba Junior Hockey League for 2 years. Uh, there was a lot of people that influenced my game,
Hmm.
but basically it was just as a goaltender back then, you had to basically learn by yourself because it was
Hmm.
like they don't have goalie they didn't have goalie camps, goalie practice, and back in the 70s
Hmm.
when that was just about non-existent,
Hmm.
except deck the pads and up and down, and that's it.
Hmm. I recently did my Hockey Canada coaching certifications and stuff, and a big emphasis they place on when you're trying to build out practices and stuff like this is that don't forget about the goalie. The goalie's been forgot about
Yeah,
for far too long.
yeah,
And I imagine in that time, the goaltending would have been a lot more about athleticism and desperation as
yeah.
opposed to the technical skill that those guys bring in present day.
It's all motorized now. They all basically the same.
Hmm.
It's just who does it better.
Hmm.
Okay, and back in when we played, I was small. I was only 5'6",
Hmm.
and I I remember my first camp in Kenora. I was happy. Got up to 120 pounds. So 5'6", 120, and I was playing with grown men, and but yeah, you had to be fast and agile. I was fortunate enough to have a good glove hand.
Hmm.
I could move quick. I was small, but I was agile.
Hmm. Hmm.
But
Awesome.
it's completely different now. Now they built for size, you know,
Hmm.
and they have the equipment.
Last question I want to ask you is what's your greatest lesson that you learned while playing that has served you in life after hockey?
Treat treat your teammates and your opponents with respect, because they'll your opponents. I played against so many players here, Canadians, Germans, and we still meet and we have a beer together, and it's just treat everybody with respect because we're playing the best game in the world, right? And you can't be a jerk,
Hmm.
you know. If you respect somebody, you'll get respect returned. So, you
I
know,
love that. Compete while you're on the ice, but make sure that you're doing it
oh,
with respect, so that beyond
oh
the
yeah,
ice, beyond the rink, later in life, you're able to be met with that same respect that you gave.
oh yeah. Uh, when we basically all finished, we used to have a memorial tournament for a player I played against who died of cancer, and everybody got together, your opponents, and it was a big party. It was a
Hmm.
big party. It was great,
Hmm.
and that made hockey fun.
Yeah.
Even after playing was great, I loved it. I just wanted to play as long as I could, but after hockey, okay, now I'm into coaching also because you just can't leave hockey alone.
Right. Right.
But you know, just the old teammates and your old opponents, uh, just treat them like you would have them treat yourself.
Mhm. Tony, the only goalie up on the wall of fame, we'll call it, in Dryden Arena. Thank you so much for your time. Pleasure to meet you.
Thank you very much for the interview. I appreciate it, and I'd like to say hi to everybody back in Dryden. Unfortunately, like I said, I couldn't make it back. Started July, meet the old teammates
Mm.
from high school. Oh well, maybe some other time.
Till next time.
Okay.
Bye now.